All right. Once again, welcome, Grade 12s. In our previous session, remember, guys, we introduced the structure of the urban area. When we talk about the structure of the urban area, we were talking about three perspectives or three things to look at. Okay, there are three aspects that we said we look at when we study the structure of an urban area. We look at the urban profile, which is the side view of an urban area. And then you look at the urban street patterns, which is the streets, how the streets are arranged. And you also look at the urban land use zones. So last time we talked about the urban profile. We gave a brief introduction about the urban profile, talking about the CBD, talking about the places surrounding the CBD, places such as the suburban shopping center, the outlying business districts, the high income residential areas, and all of that. But now, today we'll be looking now at urban street patterns as well as the urban land use zones, right? So let's start with street patterns, all right? So basically, when we are looking at the street pattern, we're just looking at how the streets of the urban area are arranged, right? So we can be able to study the urban area from above by looking at the streets, how the streets are arranged. Remember, the urban profile, you are studying the urban area by looking at it from the side view. That is the urban profile. But when you're looking at the street patterns, you look at the urban area from the top. You're trying to see how do the streets look like, right? You're just trying to see how do the streets look like, okay? So the street patterns are basically the layout or the arrangement of the roads. The layout or the arrangement of the roads in an urban area is known as a street pattern. So different urban areas have got different street patterns. Remember, different urban areas have got different ways of arranging their roads. All right. You can find out that when you go to Durban, the roads maybe they are arranged in this circular path. Maybe the roads are arranged in this way. I'm trying my best to make a good diagram here. Maybe the roads in Durban they are arranged in this way. You find out the cars are actually coming to one point that looks like a circle. Or you find out that when you go to Mpumalanga, the roads will be different. So those are different street patterns. So in this section, we'll be focusing on the different street patterns. The first one is known as a gridiron street pattern. The second one is known as a radial street patterns. The third one is known as a planned irregular street pattern. And the fourth one is known as an unplanned irregular street pattern. So these are the four different ways of arranging the roads, or these are the four different ways of laying out the streets. All right, so basically the street pattern kind of tells us how the streets are arranged or how the streets are laid out. Okay, because they know the shapes of the roads in your urban area. All right, so now let us study now one by one and try to look at how the streets are arranged. We are going to start here from the gridiron street pattern. So in the gridiron street pattern, this is how it looks like. First of all, before we even explain it in words, this is how the gridiron street pattern looks like. It's known as a gridiron street pattern. This is how the roads look like. It's kind of weird, and it's doesn't look beautiful. Okay, no offense intended, though. All right. So basically, in a gridiron street pattern, the roads intersect at right angles, forming rectangular blocks. So in a gridiron street pattern, you have got your roads, and those roads, when they intersect at angles of 90 degrees, or they intersect at angles of right angles, something like this. Don't know if this is clearer, but basically when you are having two roads and they're intersecting, they intersect in such a way that the angle between them will now become what? 90 degrees. So let's just say here you are having different roads here. You are having different roads, something like this. These are different roads, right? We have got a road that is moving in this direction. Then you've got another road there. Here is another road. You've got another road here. You've got another road here. So here we're actually having four different roads, but look at how they intersect. Look at how the roads are meeting. They meet in such a way that they've got an angle of what? Of 90 degrees between them. So having an angle of 90 degrees between them, they actually look like rectangular blocks. They don't actually look like your normal roads, the roads that you are used to see each and every day. It's a gridiron street pattern. I don't know if you guys can kind of see it. This is a grid iron street pattern. You are having what? You are having roads, and then your roads, when they intersect, this is a road, this is one road, this one highlighted in green is one road. When it meets with another road, when it intersects with another road, it intersects in such a way that it's going to create an angle of 90 degrees. So this is another road here. It intersects with another road in such a way that they've got an angle of 90 degrees, or you can say that in such a way that they are perpendicular to one another. All right. So the intersection of the roads tells you that this is a grid iron street pattern. Just like here, we've got another road here. This is another road here. When it intersects with this one that is green, it intersects at an angle of 90 degrees. Similarly, the one that I will highlight right now, the one highlighted in red, this one, when it intersects with the blue road and the purple road, it makes an angle of 90 degrees, such that when the roads are intersecting, they form rectangular blocks. Okay, so they form what? They form rectangular blocks. So now this type of a street pattern, or this type of arrangement of the roads, is found in the CBD as well as the older cities. So that's why I say that this is not your typical street pattern. Like if you go to a random any urban area, maybe you go to Johannesburg, or you go to Cape Town, or you go to any place these days, you hardly see roads that look like this. In fact, this is not your typical street pattern. The grid iron street pattern is found in older cities. That's how they used to build their roads back then. Okay. Or you can find that in a CBD. Yeah, in a CBD, especially in a CBD, that's when you find roads that are intersecting at 90 degrees like this, and you find a couple of buildings in between and stuff like that. But the fact is here, the roads are meeting at what? At 90 degrees. What you need to know is the advantages and disadvantages of having this. So having a grid iron street pattern, it is very advantageous because it is fine. It is easy to find a way around. So it is easy to find a way because the roads, guys, they are meeting with 90 degrees here. You can easily be able to trace where, let's just say you don't get lost easily. All right. Let's just say you are new into the area and then your car is somewhere here. I don't know if you guys can see where my car is. Let me just highlight in a bigger color. But basically, let's just say here's your car here. When you have got your car here and then you are moving and you are moving around, you are able to trace back the roads easily because the roads are just straight lines and there is no curves there. It's very easy. It's very easy. You guys kind of get the sense. It's easy to find your way around. The roads are straightforward. All the roads, they are meeting at 90 degrees. They're straightforward. It's not that you won't get lost easily. You can even say, even if you get to a place where you feel like you are now lost, you can just go back and try to see how did I move from here to here and here. So it's very clear. Right? The grid iron pattern is very clear. You don't get lost easily. All right. And also the land can also be divided easily because we are making up a 90 degrees angle. Remember, they were making up a 90 degrees angle. So let's just say you want to build a grid iron street pattern. Let's just say you want to build your own urban area. Even if you go to the city council, when you go and buy the land, it's easy to divide the land for you because you know that the pattern of your roads is just going to have a simple pattern of roads that are intersecting at the angles of 90 degrees. A simple pattern of roads that are intersecting at the angle of 90 degrees. So it's easy for you to divide the land and say, Mina, I will need this amount of land to build this grid iron street pattern. So it's very easy to divide the land. The land can be divided easily. You are going to see if we're gonna do the other street patterns. The other street patterns, they've got weird roads. The way the roads are arranged, it's not easy to divide the land because you are not sure how much land you need to build that. But if you have got a grid iron street pattern, you are sure I'm going to need 7 roads. For example, the one that I just drew for you right now, this one, I know that I've got how many roads in total? I've got 4 roads in total in this street pattern. So if I just want to scale this up, I go to the city council, I say, I want to build an urban area, I want to build an urban area or build some roads. And then I have a clear idea of how much land I need to occupy. This land that I need to occupy, I can divide it easily. I can get my share, my piece of land to be able to build this, build this street pattern. So dividing the land to develop these roads or to construct these roads is very easy in a grid iron straight pattern. And the other thing, one of the other advantages of having this straight pattern, basically it can be converted into a one-way street to ease traffic congestion. So basically, since these roads, they're kind of connected to one another. You can just consider them as one-way street, or you can consider them as one-way road. Okay, so basically, if you have got cars here, the cars will never be stuck at all, because you can, let's just say this is a road, and it continues and it continues and it continues and it continues forever and ever and ever. Okay, there is less chances of having traffic congestion in this great iron straight pattern, because some of the cars, they will take the 90 degrees, they will go to these roads that are 90 degrees, these vertical roads. So traffic congestion will never be that much of a problem. But imagine if you're just having a straight road like this, just a straight road with no intersection, just a straight road like this, it will be, if there's traffic congestion, let me just say there's traffic congestion, it happens that maybe there's a roadblock, the cars will just pile up on this road. They'll just pile up and pile up and pile up, and they have nowhere to go. But because you are in a grid iron straight pattern, we have got 90 degrees intersections. Normally, the other roads are connected to this pattern via 90 degrees angles. You will never have traffic congestion here, because the cars can go the other ways. The cars can go into the other streets. So the grid iron straight pattern is an advantage, because you can convert it into a one-way street so that you can ease some traffic congestion. But if it was just a one long road with no intersection, with no other roads intersecting it, then it would be what? It would be hard to control traffic congestion. Like the cars would just pile up and they would have no other way to go. But because it's a grid iron straight pattern, you have got quite a couple of roads that are intersecting, that are going in different directions. So having that itself makes it easy for people, for traffic to flow. Basically, you never find traffic congestion in such an area, guys, because basically there are many streets to go to. Why would you want to have traffic congestion in such a place? If you go to a street, maybe Amalogish, most of the times the locations that we live on, most of the times they've got this grid iron straight pattern. Okay, they've got this grid iron straight pattern. You will never find traffic in such a place, a location. You never find traffic. Okay, because of this structure of the pattern, because of this arrangement of the roads. And also it's a shorter distance to travel as well. And then there's also a little wastage of land. This one of little wastage of land is the same thing as saying that the land can be divided easily, because you know the amount of land that you need to be able to build such a arrangement of the roads, to be able to build a grid iron straight pattern. But basically it's a shorter distance to travel as well, because the roads are just short. There is no long road. The roads are just short, and they've got like intersections of 90 degrees. At least know just three advantages. 3 advantages is fine. Yeah, 3 advantages is fine. Or just say, yeah, 3 is fine. 3 is fine. You don't have to know all, you have to understand all of them, but at least memorize 3 of them. But if they ask you any question about any one of these advantages of a grid iron straight pattern, you must be able to explain it. But now it has got also its disadvantages as well. So the other thing, as much as we say we can be able to ease traffic congestion inside a grid iron straight pattern, but sometimes it's not always the case. Let me just twist your mind a bit in this case, right? But remember here, guys, that we are having intersections. We're having intersections, right? Like the roads, they've got 90 degrees intersections with other roads. So the roads have got 90 degrees intersections with other roads, something like this in our grid iron straight pattern. Okay, so in the first perspective, I say that the grid iron straight pattern can be converted into a one-way street to ease traffic congestion. Simply means that there won't be any traffic, because cars have got different places to go. But imagine if we put some traffic stops at each and every intersection. Traffic stops, I'm talking about the robots here. Or not the robots, traffic lights. You call them traffic lights in Africa, right? So we are talking about a traffic lights here. If we put traffic lights here at each and every intersection, because if we have got cars coming from this direction and we have got other cars coming from the other direction, right? We've got two cars coming from different directions. We don't want them to collide into each other. So there will be there's a chance of having more accidents if something like that happens. So what do? We put traffic lights. Okay, we put traffic lights here to stop the traffic from that side from flowing, so that these ones can be able to continue move. I'm sure you guys know what the traffic lights do. The robots. When it's green, you go. When it's red, you stop. So it means that you would have to stop at each and every intersection. Each and every time you see a traffic light, you would have to do what to stop them. Because remember, guys, here, this street pattern, the cars, the roads, they keep on intersecting. So there's a need for putting these traffic lights or these traffic stops. So it means that when the cars are coming from that direction, right, they would have to stop each and every time, each and every traffic light, they would have to stop so that they allow the other cars to be able to move. And it's very hard to maintain traffic there. So it's all about how you view it, this thing, right? A great iron street pattern, it can be an advantage if it happens in that way that I've explained it first. If you convert it into one-way street, simply means that the cars, they don't have to be congested in traffic. They can go in other multiple directions. But what if the cars, they don't want to go in multiple directions? What if just that you are moving straight, and you are moving straight and you're moving straight, and you meet other roads that are moving in an opposite direction, normal in a perpendicular direction. You meet other roads that are moving like this. These other roads that are moving like this. So you are moving straight. When you want to move like straight forward, but you are meeting roads that are vertical in this way, should you have to stop every time to allow the other cars to pass through. So that will cause traffic congestion. But if it happens, you want to move to the other streets, it's very easy to just move. We won't have any traffic there. So traffic congestion is something that happens as the traffic stops at every intersection. So each and every intersection, there's going to be a traffic light to be able to stop the traffic from moving. And then the other risk, more accidents because of these too many intersections. Let's just assume, guys, that there's no traffic lights. Remember, this is all about different scenarios, guys. If we don't have traffic lights, let me just say we don't have traffic lights, and your street pattern is like this, it simply means that the cars, there is a chance that a car is coming from one direction. Let's just say a car is coming from this direction. Just make a car coming from this direction. Here is a car. And then we've got another car coming from the other direction. And then there's no traffic light. What happens? They're going to collide into one another. So these intersections, these 90 degrees intersections, they are not so good at some time. They're not so good because they can cause more accidents. So due to a high number of intersections, we tend to have more accidents in the Great Iron Street pattern. That is why it is no longer implemented in most places, right? Because it's a kind of an older way of arranging the streets and the roads, right? And it's also boring. It's very ugly, by the way, as I've already told you. It's not aesthetically pleasing, the Great Iron Street pattern. It's not beautiful. It's boring. Even if you look at it here, it does not look nice. It does not look nice. Let's just say that to keep things nicer. It does not look nice. It looks boring. So it's a disadvantage as well. But the most crucial disadvantage is the traffic congestion. If you have to stop at each and every traffic lights, that can cause traffic congestion. You cannot say, this is a busy road and it's a Great Iron Street pattern. Let's just say if it's a busy road, like there are many cars passing through this place, those cars will just stay stuck waiting for the other ones to pass through. So traffic congestion will always be there in a Great Iron Street pattern. If it happens when you just want to move forward in one direction, you would have to stop at each and every traffic light. So it's a disadvantage as well. Are we still together, grade 12? Are we together, grade 12? Are we still together?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So that's the Great Iron Street pattern.
Sir.
Yes. So that's the Great Iron. Then the remaining ones are easier to understand than the Great Iron. That's why I spend the most time on the Great Iron, right? So we have got a radial street pattern. This one is a radial straight pattern. In a radial straight pattern, the roads spread out from a central point, similar to a spider's web. Right? So the rows here, they are spreading out from a common point. It's just like a centripetal pattern in geomorphology. I'm sure you guys remember a centripetal pattern whereby the rivers are all pouring into one lake. It's a similar pattern. It's known as a radial straight pattern. So all of the roads, they are going towards a common point. No matter, they are going towards the same point. So here you can see that we've got a road here. So basically, let's just say this is a common point. I like making my own diagram. This is the common point. And then you have got a road coming to this point. This is a road coming to this point, right? This is a road coming to this common point. And then you have got another road coming from the side. This is another road coming from the side. It is still coming to the same common point. And then you've got another road as well. You've got another road. You've got another road here. And then let's just make another one more road. Let's just say you've got another road here. This one is known as a radial straight pattern. So a radial straight pattern, what's happening? All the roads are coming towards a central point. Remember, they are coming towards one point, right? So in this case, I think you can see that here you are having rows. This is a road that is coming towards the central point. Okay, this is another road that is coming towards the central point. This is another road they're coming to the central point, and another one, and another one. So all the roads here, they are leading to one point. And the point that we're talking about here is the central point. So usually the central point that they are going towards is a CBD, because I told you guys that the CBD is the Central Business District. This is where you need to apply it very carefully, especially when answering questions, right? So here, the roads, they are spreading out from a central point. You ask yourself, why would the roads all go towards one point? Like, what's special about that point where all the roads are leading to? You often hear them saying, all roads are leading to Jerusalem or something like that. But why would all the roads be leading to only one point in the entire straight pattern? Like, why are all roads going to one point? What's special about that point? It's usually the CBD. So the central point that we are talking about usually here, it is the Central Business District, because people, we are here to do business, right? We're here to do business in the world. So most of the times in a radial straight pattern, the central point where all the people are going towards is usually the CBD, where there is high business activity. I mean, like a place where there is high business activity, you find a lot of stores there. You find a lot of markets there. You find a lot of restaurants. You find a lot of stuff, beautiful stuff to explore around. All right. So basically, what's that is a radial straight pattern when the roads are arranged in such a way that all of the roads are leading to a common point. That is known as a what? A radial straight pattern. What is the common point or the central point? No matter the point at the center where all the roads are going, we call it the CBD. Usually, it is the CBD because the Central Business District is the city center. So this one is also found in very old cities as well, like Paris and in Europe and Kimberley in South Africa. All right. Yeah. So what is the advantage of even having this straight pattern whereby all the roads are leading to one common central point, which is usually the CBD? There is an easier flow of traffic. So traffic is easy to follow here because remember that here, all the roads are coming from the central point, all right? So there wouldn't be any traffic because let's just say you are coming from that road. Let's just say you are coming from, okay, let's just use my diagram here. You are coming from this road. You reach the Central Business District and you need to go somewhere else. You can just choose the other road here. There are many roads at the central point. You can go with this blue road back. Let me just fix this. All right. So let's just say you were coming with the what? You were coming with this red road, right? And then now you are done shopping at the city center. You are done shopping and you are done doing whatever you did. Now you want to go. When you want to go, there are many roads to navigate to from the city center. You can take this other route and go with it. You can take this other route and go with it. You can take this other route and go with it. So the traffic there is easy to flow. There's easier flow in traffic. It's just similar to the gridiron pattern. In the Great Iron pattern, I say that there's easy traffic flow. When it happens that you need to go the other way, you can easily just turn and go the other way. But now in a radial straight pattern, it's even way better because there are many roads at the same point. There are many roads at the central point. So here at the central point, there are multiple roads. No matter there are many roads to navigate to. So it makes traffic to easily flow. Hey, this thing you need to see it in reality more. Let's just say you go to a big city such as Johannesburg. The CBD of Johannesburg is around MTN Taxi Rank and they're around Wanderers. Those places, that's the CBD of Johannesburg. All the roads are leading towards the CBD. All the roads are leading towards the CBD, all right? But it's easier we can have traffic sometimes, especially during busy days and stuff like that. But managing the traffic is easier because there are many roads to go to. You can yes, I know that maybe you are coming from this point. Let's just say you are coming from point A and you are going to the CBD here. If you want to go back to point A and there's a lot of traffic, you can just go take another road, maybe go that way and then come back to point A. But at least you didn't cause any traffic. That's the whole idea about this entire point. So in a radial straight pattern, there is easier flow of traffic. All right. I wish that I had images or animations to describe this in a better way, but I hope that you guys are understanding here. And here, all the roads, they are leading towards a central town. That's an advantage. So all the roads lead towards a central point in town. For example, a place of worship. Maybe all the roads are leading towards a church. Maybe all the roads are leading towards a monument, such as a museum or a place where there's a statue. For example, in Pretoria, there's a statue of Paul Kruger. There's a statue of Paul Kruger. So all the roads, they are going towards Paul Kruger statue. All the roads, they are going towards the Paul Kruger statue, right? Or maybe the roads are leading towards a town square, or they are going towards a CBD. But usually the roads are leading towards a CBD. Usually the roads are leading towards a what? A CBD. That's an advantage because for business purposes, it's an advantage. Let's just say you are doing your business in the CBD, all the roads are leading towards the CBD. So it's easier for you to just access the CBD because all the roads go towards it. Yeah, all the main roads are going towards it. But we also have got the other roads on the sides. These circular roads here. They are the ones that are connecting the main roads together so that you can easily navigate to different main roads at the same time. As I've already told you guys, if you are moving from point A and you are going to point C, right, and you need to now go back to point A, but there is traffic, you can just take a route that will take you to point A. That's why you're having these circular roads that are connecting the main roads together.
Hey Lapo, I know that you've been enjoying this wonderful video and most likely you've been enjoying watching this handsome face in front of you, but sorry ladies, I'm taken. I just here to tell you that Educate is on the road to 100,000 subscribers by the end of 2025. So please click the subscribe button and click the notification bell so that you get notifications whenever I post new videos. I want you guys to pass. Okay, so if you make my dream true, I reach 100k subscribers, I will make your dreams come true. I will even get you to varsity. I will get you with 7 distinctions. Yes.
All right, we're still here. We're saying that in a radial straight pattern, all the roads, they're leading towards a central point. It's an advantage. So it makes it easy to access the central point, such as a CBD, or maybe a town square, or maybe a place of worship. Other churches, they've got this thing. They've got these many roads coming to one place. Or a monument, as I've already given an example, maybe in a place where you will see the Nelson Mandela statue, there will be many roads leading towards those places. So it will make a radial straight pattern. Because there's a monument, there's something special about the place. That's why all of the roads are going towards that place, of course. All right. But those main roads that are going towards that place, they are connected with one another. They are connected so that there can be easier flow of traffic from one main road to another. Okay, so with that in mind, let's look at the disadvantages as well. There are disadvantages of having this radial straight pattern, all right? Traffic jams are also common as well, all right? for all roads that are leading towards the center, there is a common pattern of having traffic jams. I mean, if all the cars are going to the same, if all the cars are going towards the same point, so there is likely going to be traffic. Although it is easier for the traffic to flow, as I've already explained, Ngalena, in the advantages, it is easier for the traffic to flow because there are many roads. But let's just say there are many cars or there are many people that are coming towards the central point, no matter towards the CBD or towards the monument. Basically, that can cause traffic congestion. So the traffic jams are such that they're just common things as well. As well as the traffic is slow as well. So slow movement of traffic because there are no shortcuts. There's only one way to get to the center. It is through that road that you are moving with. There are no shortcuts at all. So if you are moving using these roads, that's the only road to get to the center. If you are using this road, there is no shortcut. There is no way of getting there on a shorter time. So there is slow movement of traffic. It's just one road that is going to the center. There are other roads that are also coming to the same central point. Yeah. So the traffic is slow as well as traffic jams are common. And also this is also wasting space because this pattern is spreading out in the entire region. It wastes a lot of space as well. It wastes a lot of space compared to this one of Gridiron. The Gridiron straight pattern, guys, is straightforward. All right, it's very straightforward. So there won't be any wasting of land at all. The land is not wasted there because you know the a discrete amount of land that you need to be able to build this pattern. It's just compact land needed to build this pattern. But for a radial straight pattern, you need a bigger piece of land. So you need to waste some space so that you can allow all those to come to the center or to the central point. So this is known as a radial straight pattern, usually found in places, in very old cities, but it is also found in common cities these days, such as monuments such as the Nelson Mandela statue. Paul Kruger statue in Pretoria is an example of one that I know of. If you go to Pretoria, and many roads, they lead towards the Paul Kruger statue in Pretoria. All of that and so on and so forth. Okay. Then we've got the planned irregular straight pattern. The planned irregular. So this is planned, but it is irregular. It doesn't have a regular shape, but it is planned. So the planned irregular straight pattern, here the roads have got fewer intersections and the roads, they've got a lot of curves. So roads have got fewer intersections and a lot of curves. So the roads, they don't meet that much, but they curve quite a lot. You can see that here, the streets are not that much straight. The streets are curvy. So the streets are curvy. So the roads tend to curve a lot. They've got curves, but there are fewer intersections. Normally, the roads, they don't get to meet that much compared to the gridiron. Remember the gridiron straight pattern, the roads were meeting like each and every time you see another road that is having a 90 degrees intersection and you see another road that is having a 90 degrees intersection on the other side. You see another road continuous. That's what is a gridiron straight pattern. But now in this planned irregular straight pattern, there are less intersections. The roads, they don't meet each other quickly, like more often. But the roads are curving that much. They've got different curves. See that this street is not a straight road, this one. It's a curved road. The road has got multiple curves and all of that. So this one is found in modern cities and newer suburbs. So the planned irregular one is the one that we're most commonly affiliated with, all right? So you're going to find that one street does not look straight. The street looks like this, and then it comes and curves. It has got curves. And then it meets one other street that is going in that direction. And then it curves as well. There are fewer intersections though. There are fewer intersections between the roads. But you find out that one road is not that much straight. The streets are curvy. They keep on curving. It does not have a straight pattern. So the streets keeps on curving. So this is your most common pattern. All right, this one is the typical pattern that we are used to, the irregular straight pattern. Even if you go to the suburbs, modern cities, even amalokishi, like the locations that we live in South Africa. They've got these patterns. You don't find a street that is just straight. The streets, they've got curves and curves and curves. But some of them, they still have got a gridiron pattern. Some of the streets in the townships, in our townships in South Africa, they still have got a gridiron pattern format. But most of the times you're going to find there are roads that are curving and curving and curving and curving. Advantages of having these roads that are curving, it improves the flow of traffic as well. Fairly all of the street patterns, they've got a way of improving the flow of traffic, all of them. And then the roads are also quieter as well because there are fewer intersections. So the roads, they don't intersect that much. So roads are quiet. You find out what this is the road. This is one road all of the way. This is just one road all of the way. It curves and curves and curves the entire lowish, the entire township. Okay, so the roads are quieter. There are less intersections. There are less intersections. So if there are less intersections, it means that there will be less cars coming from the other directions. There's only one road and the cars are only moving in that direction. So it's a bit quieter. Okay, and there's less traffic in such a place. And then it's also interesting. They are kind of beautiful compared to those ones of the gridiron, especially the gridiron. The gridiron, remember, it is just the roads are just straight and they are not looking that much beautiful. But these ones, they are curved. So the roads are just having unexpected turns. Let's just say you have a road like this, all of a sudden it starts curving and goes another way, kind of like a meandering river, something like this. This is an interesting setup. This actually makes the urban area to look more beautiful compared to a gridiron pattern urban area. Yeah, it's an interesting suburban layout, and it also accommodates the nature of the topography. It also accommodates the nature of the land as well. Because the build of the land is different, the steepness of the land. You cannot say in a place that is mountainous. Let's just say you're having a place and it's not that much flat. It is a mountainous area. It's a mountainous place. In a mountainous place, you cannot easily build a straight road in a mountainous place. Okay, so this one, an irregular street pattern, the planned irregular street pattern, it is better because it can accommodate the topography, it can accommodate the steepness of the place as well. Because the roads, they don't really have to be straight in this irregular street pattern. But in a gridiron street pattern, the roads, they need to be straight. And for that to happen, you need to have some flat land, specifically flat land. And it's hard to find flat land in South Africa, like a huge area with flat land is hard. You only find it in places such as a KZN, northern KZN, Gwamhlabuya, that's a flat area. But it's not something that you find easily. The topography of the area is not something that's found easily. So basically, this planned irregular street pattern, it can be able to work even if the area has got some inconsistencies in the gradient. If the area is not that much flat, you can still be able to make some streets. Some of the streets will kind of be descending and having a pattern that is descending and whatnot. So it's one of the advantages of this irregular street pattern. And then the disadvantage is very easy to get lost in such a place because it's very easy to get lost. The gridiron is easy to trace the roads because the roads are just straightforward. But these ones, the roads have got many curves. So you can get lost easily in a place that has got many curves. The roads have got many curves. So it's easy to get lost in a planned irregular street pattern. Even in the unplanned one, as long as there are curves in the roads, as long as the roads have got curves in them, if you are new in the area, you'll get lost. Trust me, you'll get lost. But if you go to a gridiron street pattern, the roads are straight and they've got 90 degrees intersection. It's easier to be able to trace where you came from and where you are going because the roads are straight. But if you go to such a place, there are many curves. You find out that your road curves multiple times. When I started here, but the road is curving multiple times and you cannot be able to trace where did I curve here. So the planned irregular street pattern, it's easy to get lost. And it's also not easy to subdivide or expand. You cannot really expand on this street pattern easily. So these are some of the advantages and disadvantages of the planned irregular street pattern. Then the last one is the unplanned irregular street pattern. This one does not have any clear design. So this one, there is no clear design or plan to these roads. You don't design them, you don't really have a specific plan about them. So there is no strict planning in the first place. Because remember, guys, when building an urban area, when the city council is planning to build their roads for the first time, they need to plan first. We want the roads to look like this because the area is like this and the area is like this. So all the roads that you are seeing most of the times, they are not a coincidence the way they look like. They are built to be like that. But now, in an unplanned irregular street pattern, as the term said, it is an unplanned. So it's a street pattern that has not been planned for. So the roads have just been built randomly, a random building of the roads. So this one is typical in informal settlements, because in informal settlements, they are not under the city council at all. All right, you just put your house wherever you feel is best. Okay, you just put your house whenever you feel that this is the best place. So you just find a place, you put the house. Now the roads will end up looking weird. Like imagine, guys, I put my shack here, right? Another person puts their shack here. Another person puts their house here. Another person puts their house here. Another one here. So basically, in an informal settlement, there is no planning. There is no strict planning of how the houses are arranged, right? Because the roads also depend on how the houses are arranged. So even if I want to put a road here, the road will move in a weird manner. A road can move like this and move like this and move like this. Okay, the road can end up moving with this pattern, something like this, between the houses. So in an informal settlements whereby you just do things in your own accord with no municipality or city council to intervene, that one usually ends up having an unplanned irregular street patterns. So the street patterns, they don't really have a regular shape. No one planned them to be like that. People just started building their houses wherever they saw fit. And then now the roads connecting those houses, they started developing as well. So roads connecting the houses, they started developing. And it makes an unplanned irregular street pattern. So you will not be able to establish any pattern here. Because it's irregular, it's unplanned. Okay, but the one that is a planned, yes, it is irregular. It doesn't have a certain shape, a formal shape, but it has got some curved roads. That is the planned one. It has got some curved roads and fewer intersections. But the unplanned one, the roads are just haphazardly arranged. The radial one, remember, all the roads are leading towards the same point. The gridiron pattern, the roads are straight and they are meeting at angles of 90 degrees. So those ones are the patterns. Those are the planned pattern. The gridiron street pattern is planned, or is a planned street pattern. That is why we even talked about the wastage of land, to say that how much land is used up to be able to build such roads in such a pattern. So the gridiron and the radial street patterns, all of them, they are planned and they've got a certain shape that you can recognize. But the planned irregular street pattern, it doesn't have a certain shape, all right? That's why it's irregular. It doesn't have a certain shape. But one thing that we know about, we've got curves in the roads. So the roads are curving. So the curves part is the most important thing. They are curves. So those curves are planned. But in an unplanned irregular street pattern, basically everything is just, there's no clear design. No one designed. There's no design. There's no plan. There's no shape. So there's just a haphazard arrangement of the streets. In this case, I'm sure you guys cannot even see what's happening with the streets here. They look weird. So these ones are typical in informal settlements, in places whereby people are just putting their houses wherever they see fit. And now when you put your house wherever you see fit, obviously, to connect these two houses, there must be some roads between them. So those roads, they will end up making an unplanned irregular street pattern. So the advantage, it is one of a kind, it's unique, but it's not really an advantage in my own opinion. But in case that it is asked, it's unique because It's different. It's unplanned, and you should no one planned it to be the way it is. So let's just say I find a piece of land and I start building some houses there, and I start building some houses irregularly on that empty piece of land, and I start connecting them with a street. That will become an unplanned irregular street pattern, and it will be unique. It will be different from the other ones because it's based on how my houses are arranged. It's based on how these informal settlements are arranged. So it's unique. Yeah, to an extent, the uniqueness, but I don't know if that's really an advantage being realistic, but it's unique. Then the disadvantages, this one has got a lot of traffic congestion. This one, no matter what, you always have traffic because the roads, they don't have a clear definition. They are just haphazardly arranged. So it is also unplanned. There is no order as well. And this is very easy to get lost. In this place, you can easily get lost. You go to a place in informal settlements, there's a lot of sheikhs here, there's a lot of slums and those houses. If you are here at this point, let's just say you are here at this point, when you look around you, you're gonna see a lot of houses, a lot of sheikhs. Let's just say you are here, you see a lot of houses around you. You don't even know where the road is going. You find out there's another road going there. So there's another road going there. There's another road going there. They don't have any pattern. They don't have any order. So it's very, very, very easy to get lost. So the unplanned one, you get lost even in a bigger way compared to the planned. The planned irregular street pattern is better. Yes, you get lost because of the curves of the roads and stuff like that, and because it's also irregular. The planned irregular street pattern is also irregular. It doesn't have a certain shape. But it is planned to have curves and curves and curves. Yes, you do get lost. But now in an unplanned irregular street pattern, you get lost times 2. You get lost more. Yeah. So those are the ones of the things that we analyze when it comes to street patterns. Are we still together, grade 12s?
Yes, sir.
All right. Yeah. So those are the street patterns that we have. This is how the streets are arranged in urban areas, right?